you mind introducing our princesses to us?
Yeah. As you guys know, these are our Loyalty Princesses, picked from a bunch of different girls on their different activities they're involved in, their academics, their extracurricular activities, things like that. They're all stellar high school seniors here in Newport. This is Natalie and Brianna, Brittany, and Lupe. So I won't give too much about them so that they can kind of inform you guys what's going on, but we appreciate you guys having us here and letting them practice. This is their first time, so I think they're a little bit nervous, but it's great.
All right. So we're going to get started then, and Natalie Hanna will be evaluated by Jaylene right over there. So Natalie Hanna, if you'd like to come up.
Thank you.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. This sonnet by Emma Lazarus is etched inside of the Statue of Liberty herself, welcoming those yearning to be free to our beloved country, those with a desire to obtain the American dream, that of becoming anything and everything. And this, I believe, is what celebrating freedom means, creating a life that is all about becoming better today than you were yesterday, and becoming better tomorrow than you were today, becoming all that you ever dreamed you could be and more, taking advantage of opportunities for the benefit of ourselves, our families, our neighbors, our friends, and ultimately our country and world. As a child, I was often asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And to be honest, my answer changed almost daily, from a doctor to a lawyer, and just about everything in between. Because of the freedoms we enjoy, the possibilities were endless. Having 2 school teachers as parents has instilled in me a great love for education and knowledge. And thanks to an inspiring 5th grade teacher, I intend to follow in their footsteps. Miss Valessa, a first-year teacher who I felt, for the first time, saw me as my own person, was a catalyst in my life. As the middle of 5 kids, I often felt that I could never measure up to the success of my older siblings or be as adorable as my younger twin sisters. Feeling lost somewhere in the middle, she helped me realize who I was. I immediately felt her love and encouragement as she provided me with the ability to become every day. Become a better friend, a better sibling, a better daughter, become an individual with integrity, a hard worker, and become someone with a passion for helping others. She taught me that whatever I chose to do in life, it would never be as important as the person I became. With this in mind, I've dedicated my life to becoming, with a focus in 3 areas. Becoming a person of hard work and action, being joyful in service to others, and living a life of integrity by giving my best. My parents have been a huge motivation in my life to be successful, as they have always believed that I have the potential to achieve my goals, and they have taught me how to have the work ethic needed to do so. It is because of their amazing example that I have been able to overcome difficult challenges throughout my life. Probably my favorite thing my parents have taught me is to be a person of action. If you want to try something new, do it. So, as a sophomore in high school, I decided to try dancing. Although I have been heavily involved in theater, classical ballet and contemporary dance are completely different worlds and were very difficult at the beginning. But I love dance, so although the students in my class were 2 full heads shorter than me, I didn't quit, and thanks to a dedicated teacher, I have grown to appreciate the hard work and time necessary to become better. Of course, we will fail along the way, but life is too short to not love what you do. Becoming also includes seeking joy through serving others. Perhaps my favorite example of this was at the end of my sophomore year, as I helped coach the Special Olympics track team. My job was to help the students learn to run the 100-meter dash, and there was one student, whether it was sunny or deluging rain, smiled all the way through the finish line like it was his favorite thing in the world. Just like this student, we all have the ability to choose joy in every circumstance. That doesn't mean that it is easy. In fact, I think most of the time it is not. We all have challenges, but we also have the opportunity to help people and find joy in the little things. For example, the 3-year-old child at Cody Preschool who tells you that they think you look pretty today, the person who chooses to hold the door open for you when it is raining, or looking up from your phone to actually see the people around you. Joyful acts of service to others is found in in service to others is found in the little acts of kindness we show others. How many of the little things do we miss because we are focusing on ourselves? By looking outward, I believe we truly find ourselves. As Mahatma Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Finally, pursuing the IB diploma has been a journey of becoming an individual with integrity, as it has challenged me to always give my best. In middle school, I set a goal for myself to maintain straight A's so that I could be valedictorian one day. As I have pursued the IB diploma, this goal was challenged, requiring the sacrifice of things I wanted to do for the things I needed to do. But I forged ahead, even when it seemed impossible, never giving up on my goals. Ultimately, my success is not measured by being valedictorian or receiving the IB diploma. Rather, it is the feeling of joy at the end of an exhausting day, knowing I worked my hardest to accomplish my best in order to become more than I ever thought I could be. In the words of Mother Teresa, you may give the world the best you have and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you've got anyway. Jim Caviezel recently expressed the idea that, quote, we must ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by our founding fathers, as every generation of Americans needs to know that freedom exists not to do what you like, but having the right to do what you ought, unquote. Freedom is a responsibility, a duty to become something more than an individual seeking personal gain, but instead someone who seeks to build the character necessary to do what is right, even when no one is watching. Our country was built on the promise and hope of freedom, the freedom to become a person of character and responsibility, a person of action and service. Those of us here, then, are given the responsibility to celebrate and exercise the freedoms for those masses that have come here, those who yearn to come here, and those who will come here in the future to become. Thank you.
Thank you. Certainly gave us a lot to think about. What do we want to become? Freedom to do it. Thank you. Our next speaker is Brianna Russell, and she is going to be evaluated by Brian Haggerty. Yeah.
Living in America my entire life, I have come to realize many things. I, and we as Americans, take so many things for granted, such as education, healthcare, and even something as small as clean water. We are truly lucky to live in such an amazing and free world. So the question is, why do we forget to be grateful and appreciative for what we have been given? As I analyze other countries, I begin to see how lucky I am for what I have. If you have never traveled outside of the United States, it is easy to feel dissatisfied with the trivialities of everyday life. However, I have been lucky enough to visit multiple foreign countries, and my eyes have been opened to a different perspective ever since. When I was just 13 years old, I got to experience Europe for the first time. We went to places such as Germany, Ireland, France, the Czech Republic, and Austria. I am extremely appreciative for this time in my life where I got to see a different side of the world. Without our freedom of movement, I would have never been able to travel to all of these amazing places. Along with being able to travel the world, my family and I have had the amazing opportunity to host 9 foreign exchange students from many different places. They have come from Germany, Austria, Japan, the Czech Republic, Italy, and Spain. Being able to spend a year with someone from another country and hearing about their culture and their day-to-day life has changed my outlook on life. I have always got extremely close with our exchange students. They become like family. One specifically, a girl from Germany named Eula. I remember one day out of the blue, she said, "You should love the life you live, because not everyone has it as good as you." And this really stuck with me. My dad, John Russell, was diagnosed with leukemia in 2011. As a 9-year-old girl, this was all very scary for me. I remember my mom and dad sitting my brother and I down and breaking the news to us. As the words spilled out of their mouths, I immediately broke into tears, as did my brother. I never thought that I would have to go through something like this. I thought my life would always be rainbows and butterflies. For a while, he and my mom were having to travel to Texas to MD Anderson Cancer Center for checkups. Eventually, they were able to find a doctor in Portland at OHSU that was just as knowledgeable. He gets blood work done every 3 months, where they test his white blood cell count along with his red blood cell count to make sure his numbers are stable. Thankfully, so far, he's only had to receive 1 round of treatment. Having a dad with cancer is not easy. but living here in the States, we have been blessed with the proper necessities that have allowed my dad to receive what he has needed to stay healthy. Knowing that he will be taken care of has helped me immensely. Through all the fear that this has brought me, I have been able to cope and realize that he is going to be okay because of the freedom we have for healthcare here in America. Healthcare is a problem in many countries. In a place such as the Republic of Sierra Leone, people are dying on a daily basis because they are not able to receive simple health needs. Pregnant women have the right to free healthcare, however, the country is unable to provide it. Along with healthcare is clean water. About 60% of the rural population does not have adequate access to clean drinking water. This is something that we as Americans definitely take for granted. I have had the amazing opportunity to help sponsor a school in Sierra Leone through my grandparents' church. Being able to make an impact on a community in a place so different from here has made me a completely different person. It makes me see how truly lucky I am for the things I have that I don't even think about on a daily basis. I think that we all need to take a minute every day to stop and realize how grateful we should be of even the smallest things. Something that may seem so small to us may be huge to someone in a place like this where they don't have access to what we have. Once again, we take things for granted that anybody in a place like this would jump for joy about. Experiences like these are what have made me so thankful for the freedom we have here in America. So let me ask the question again. Why do we forget to be grateful and appreciative for what we have been given? This is America. Let's start celebrating freedom. Thank you.
Thank you. It makes you think when you were saying that as I'm picking up my clean glass of water and taking a sip. You need to be grateful for that, don't you? Thank you. Our next speaker is Brittany Gwynn, and she will be evaluated by Larry. Right over there, Larry. Help me welcome Brittany.
Much like I'm sure many of you are busy with the hustle and bustle of life, I can be very busy as well. Sometimes so busy that it's easy to forget to take a moment and appreciate all of the things that provide us with this bountiful life. I was reminded of this when I noticed a tiny sign in my room that says, "Enjoy the little things." I would like to remind you to take a moment, maybe close your eyes, and think about the gratitude that you feel for the little things in your life that add up to make it worthwhile. Whatever you thought of, you are able to enjoy that in part because of the freedom that we are given here, and that is worth celebrating. One of my favorite little moments that the little sign reminded me of was getting to unwrap a little piece of candy as I watched the Loyalty Days parade go by. It's probably more than one, but I don't remember. Although I don't remember my first parade since I was only 3, I have fond memories of this celebration since I was young. Although Loyalty Days is a fun experience with wonderful people, performances, and a beautiful parade, the Loyalty Days event is about much more. It is about showing our loyalty and appreciation for freedom. I've gotten to feel the joy in this tradition and see how it is shown within our community, a community that's built on freedom. As I think when I got to walk down the parade route for the first time, I'm taken back to the memories of getting to tie a little bandana on my dog and walk with my friends side by side. I remember the pride that I felt after training my dog during the entire year to follow my commands and then being able to demonstrate that during the parade. This parade brings our community together. I'm looking forward to doing the same this year, except this time I won't be walking. Because of these opportunities that I've given here, because of freedom, I'm able to participate in programs like 4-H and be able to walk in parades like this. As I walk down the highway during the parade, I can look to my left and see City Hall, a symbol of our community freedom. As I'm almost 18, I am almost able to start voting, a freedom which I will definitely not take for granted. Many people have worked very hard, sacrificing their lives for both my right and everyone else's right to vote. Voting gives us a voice, our freedom of speech, and how our protection and opportunities are run. Freedom and opportunity, local opportunity, national opportunity, all of the above. Next time you bubble in your ballot, think about taking this moment to celebrate freedom, an active celebration of freedom. As I've grown up, I've been blessed with enough experience and support in a way that goes beyond just the definition of freedom. I haven't just had the right to think, speak, be, or act in a way that I wanted, but I've been able to do this without hindrance, and I've been able to see that American freedom helps us go beyond our hindrances. One example of this is that we aren't just offered the ability to become educated, but we are given an education. It is hard to accept that there are many people in the world who are oppressed from education. Having grown up in a family with a mother who teaches professionally and a father who has persevered to graduate, despite his own personal health problems, he's been the only one of 4 siblings to graduate. This has taught me the value and perseverance that is worthy of an education. This freedom is not given to everyone, and I appreciate having the ability to gain a quality education. I'm appreciative for all the little moments as I work to remember the little things that give us freedom. If we appreciate and celebrate freedom, we can maintain freedom's vitality. We honor freedom by participating in celebrations like loyalty days, active like voting, and utilizing opportunities that freedom gives us. As you continue on, take a moment, reminisce on the powerful little memories and opportunities that you seek in the future that will help you enjoy and celebrate freedom.
Celebrating freedom. When you were giving your speech, I just had this little picture of you walking down with your little dog. So cute. Are they going to let you have a little dog with you?
I hope this will be the first time that I've been in the parade without him.
So you're going to get to ride in one of the cars, right?
Maybe they will let me to.
So whoever they ride with,
Yeah.
I have to do
That's a good idea.
For
That's a
this
good
year.
idea. I will have to trade him out for your escort.
That's right. Our last speaker is going to be Lupe Martinez, and her evaluator is going to be Lee Ritzman, right over there. Lupe.
America is the land of the free and home of the brave, but we would not have had the chance to be free unless someone believed it was possible. If no one had put faith in our country, we might not have the same opportunities we are given today. Our freedom today exists as of the actions of those who believed that it was necessary to live by, disallowing its relic of days more barbarous than us. When you think of America, you might think of freedom or hope. As Americans, we can put our faith in what we believe in, and we're given an opportunity to make it our own choices instead of following or being forced into things we don't believe. We have laws, but our options are not nearly as limited as those in other countries. I believe in America because we have dreams and we are given the opportunity to make them come true. One of the core freedoms we often overlook, but I want to shed a light on, is the freedom of speech. In America, each of us has the right to object to what we are thinking of is wrong as a person or as a whole nation. I believe in my country because our leaders gave us the freedom to stand up for what we believe in. Politics and democracy are central issues in our society today. The freedom to hold different views politically doesn't exist in certain regions. Right now, in my global studies class, we are learning about communism in China and how a certain boy got his mother killed by saying that she wasn't following what everyone else was doing. Today, he lives with large regret, but it's something he had done, and he thought he must have known. The liberty to pick our leader of our choice is one that people take for granted when they are supposed to be glad that they can. In the United States, everyone has the right for a different opinion politically. Today, for me, it is sad to see that nearly half of the population doesn't even vote, when so many have fought for us to be able to. So many have died, so many have done various sacrifices to make this possible. In the United States, everyone has the right to have a different opinion politically. You can choose your mind without being fear of being reprimanded as long as it doesn't infringe on the other's rights. This is what freedom in America looks like. Journalists are not denied the chance to report the news as it is. The opportunity to speak your thoughts and mind is just a freedom of expression, and that in itself is a beautiful thing. To disagree and to be able to do things so freely is something we take for granted, whether it be disagreeing with political antics to arguing with your friends about silly little things. It's all really amazing. The fact that you can get up each morning and speak as you wish on social media through music or poetry, among others, must be appreciated. We are not censored as those in other countries. There are places where the government regulates access to media platforms, such as Instagram or like Snapchat, even Facebook. All that America asks of you is that you don't misuse this freedom by causing harms to others and yourself. This can be seen years ago when children of our high school decided to make loyalty days a thing again. Some countries wouldn't allow that. You have to follow their rules, but these kids wanted to see our celebration of freedom come alive in our small little town. The situation is quite opposite in some continents, where dictatorships are the order of the day. In such regimes, a lot of people have died for expressing different political views. Electing a leader that you believe will fulfill the agenda of citizens is not a guarantee. But in America, you can be assured that you can and will pick the leader of your choosing. Political freedom is another level in this great nation. Being able to have your options that you can either strongly agree with or disagree with, or you feel so strongly about things that you can be an option for candidacy. Our founding fathers accorded freedom as a press such a prominent placement in our Constitution because it is represented with values and liberties that the United States is founded on. This freedom remains so crucial to preserving our system of government because press acts as a fundamental check upon our society and government. Citizens of other countries may not feel as secure in their country as we do. We wake up every day and we're not worried that a missile might blow up next to our house. We have that liberty. We have a strong military that not only keeps us safe, but helps protect other countries. We strive not only for our safety of our country, but also keep the peace of the world. Our country has made sacrifices to achieve what we have. If we were not given the opportunity to speak our minds, we would not have fought, and we would not be where we are today. Liberty to realize your dreams not only happen in America, is in America. There's a saying that dreams only come true in America. Well, the system of society is such that it is open to one and all, and what they have to offer. If you're good at something, don't be shy away from it, because in this great land, you can be whoever and whatever you aspire to be. There's this high school teacher, Mary Quakey, who I've had the privilege of being a student of for 4 years, who inspired me to become a lawyer. And years ago, I would have told you you're crazy, because I didn't believe in myself that much. But having someone believe in you so much that you're able to look past your own doubts is a beautiful thing. There are countless opportunities available for your dreams and to be realized. And you have the freedom to seize these opportunities. And with that, I leave you with this quote by John Adams. To be good and to do good is all we have to do. So do your best to seize these opportunities.
Do your best to be good. What's that? Can you say that again?
To be good and to do good is all we have to do.
Great. I like that. We're going to have a timers report, and I think for the first time in the history that I've been here, and I've only been here like 3 years, but I think for the first time since I've been here, we didn't have any go under time. I think all of them went over. So what are the timers?
We have Natalie spoke for 5 minutes, 55 seconds. Brianna, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Brittany was right on at 4 minutes, and Lupe, 6 minutes. But it was awesome.
Nice job. I also have to say that in the short amount of time I've been here, but I've seen at least three, maybe four of the last year's princesses. I have to say that you guys are the most prepared. I mean, really, I am just, honestly, I'm just like, wow, you guys did so well on your first one. So I'm really looking forward to you guys coming back and seeing what you can improve on.
Such high expectations now for next time.
We're setting the standard really high. I want to see you with a dog. All right.
No, we're gonna have a dog at the next meeting.
Yeah, well, hey, that's okay. We'll put a little thing on the thing, support dog. You know.
Game placard.
There we go. All right, so we are going to start with our evaluations here. And so Jaylene, I don't know if you can make it around or you can, okay.
Yeah.
Jaylene is going to do the evaluation for Natalie.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jaylene. We do a lot of clapping.
We do a lot of clapping, and by the way, we are all nervous when we have to stand up here and speak. That's why we keep doing it every week so that we get better at it. Natalie, when I saw you, you were so well poised and confident and calm. You didn't fidget, and you really you were present. You took this stage. You were well prepared, I agree. You were, frankly, all so well prepared with beautiful messages. That introduction using the Statue of Liberty sonnet was beautiful. It really took me coming to this big level. It really made me start thinking bigger about it. The quotes were inspiring, and your stories were just as inspiring, if not more than inspiring. So I really encourage you to share more of those and go even, see, I said, none of you said, I don't think. You were really great at that. Your voice was very clear. You had a well-organized flow. The things that I saw where you can improve is to slow down, add some pauses to emphasize the points that are really important to you. Feel free to share a little emotion. You were beautifully poised, and just a little bit to really emphasize the points that are important to you. And those all just come with practice. You have the content, you have a powerful message, clear message, a beautiful way of delivering it. It's just a matter of adding those little sparkling bits to make it come alive even more with your personality, in the way that you want to get. Thank you. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaylene. And now we have Brian Haggerty, and he will be doing the evaluation for Brianna. Brian.
I would like to second what the other Brian said, which is that I've only been doing this 2 years, but all 4 of you were excellent and head and shoulders above last year's field. So congratulations for the preparation. Brianna, very nice way that you tied bigger concepts to little personal things in your life. I like that. It brings those concepts closer and makes them sing to us. You had good tone and inflection, good eye contact, and a good pace. You have an appropriate amount of material so that you didn't need to rush through things. You weren't left hanging, hoping for the green card. But so good amount of material and a nice presentation. I do have to ding you for a couple of things, and maybe this is a policy thing. All of the speakers pretty much were ramrod straight at the podium and had their hands down. Is that a rule? Is that a thing?
No.
Okay. Then this comment is for all 4 of you. Loosen up. Move a little bit and flow with, because you can bring body language into your speaking, and it will make things more effective. That said, I want to say all 4 of you were good at not being in your notes, except sometimes if you misspeak or something like that, it will bring you back to your notes. And of course it's going to, but then you need to make sure that you get back into your flow and move again. The other thing I want to ding you for is my brother and I It's my brother and me. Take the other person out of the sentence. Mom told my brother and I to get in the car. You wouldn't say Mom told I to get in the car. My brother and me. As I say, I had to kind of find a couple of things to dig you with, but overall, it's a very good speech and very well done. Thank you very much.
And he's a lawyer, so he knows all those grammar. Larry is going to be doing the evaluation. Let me welcome Larry.
Wow, this is my first year witnessing the speeches, and I thought they were all just excellent. Very nicely done. It was a pleasure to Brittany, you asked me to listen for ums, and I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear any pauses. And it's okay to pause. And if you happen to, sometimes you're on the verge of saying, you just pause and get back into your speech. I thought your pace was really good. You didn't rush. Sometimes people tend to rush their speeches a lot, and your speech was very nicely paced. You were right on time, which is great. And so the other thing is, as Brian mentioned, your hands were pretty much tied here. You had good eye contact, even given that you were reading the speech. So you read, but you looked up and connected with your audience. So nice. And you have very clear speaking style. You might project just a little more, a little bit louder, but don't force that. You did a nice job. I thought the body of your speech was really well done. You have your material, so now it's just a matter of practicing it. And so I would say, in terms of improvement, I think if you can memorize the speech so that you're just looking at the audience and lifting your hands up and gesturing, and so your whole speech is looking at people, it really brings people into it. The story mentioning your dog, obviously that connected. Stories connect with people a lot more than concepts do. So anytime you could add the stories, and a lot of you were really good at that, that really connects, and that's what people take away. So you had some nice stories in there. As you work with it, don't take out your stories. If anything, put more stories in. See, I'm saying myself. I mean, it's a common thing, and so it's kind of a filler. Don't worry about it. You did excellent. Maybe a little more vocal variety, like show your emotion a little bit. And I think that comes with practice and just getting easy. And when you tell the stories, a lot of times that's when emotion comes out. So I thought it was an excellent speech. All of you are really on your way. You just need a little bit more practice, memorize it, and speak off the cuff. Thank you.
I'm sure Larry was just giving you examples of ums. Lee Ritzman will be our final evaluator. He is going to be doing the evaluation for Lupe.
Good morning. Like the others, I think, and I've been doing this for 25 years, this is the best group that we've ever had. Well prepared. I'm very, very impressed. And the comments that I give to Lupe are probably apropos for all of you, because as I started writing down notes, for each one of it, oh, again. Usually when we give an evaluation, we try to give the good stuff